Let's get right into it. Number 12. The Son of Sam versus the parking meter. You all know this one. David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, terrorized New York City in the 70s, shooting young couples in their cars, killing 6 people, and sending these unhinged, taunting letters to the police, claiming a demon dog told him to do it. He had the entire city locked down in fear. He thought he was a supernatural force of evil, a phantom in the night. So, what brought down this Son of Sam? A parking ticket. Seriously. Near the scene of his final shooting, a witness remembered seeing a man with a ticket on his car. Separately, a police officer remembered issuing a citation that night to a yellow Ford Galaxy parked illegally next to a fire hydrant. The police decided to track all of that night's parking tickets in that neighborhood, and one of them led them directly to David Berkowitz. When they staked out his apartment, there was the car. He was arrested, and the demon dog story fell apart. This guy thought he was a legend, and he was ultimately brought down by the NYC Department of Transportation. Number 11. When your getaway car needs a tow. Alright, let's travel to Houston, Texas for Lamarques McWilliams. This guy was attacking and killing women in the Acres Homes area between 2006 and 2009. His downfall wasn't a brilliant detective. It was Mother Nature and a complete lack of common sense. Imagine this. You're in the middle of your evil plan. You've put a woman, Chelsea Brazier, in the trunk of your car. You're driving off, and you immediately get your car stuck in the mud. Just stuck, like a cartoon coyote. So, what's your next move, genius? McWilliams let her out of the trunk and told her to get in the driver's seat and steer while he pushed. You can't make this up. He literally asked his own victim to be his tow truck. Predictably, the second the car was free, she floored it, drove straight away, and called the police. His DNA later matched other scenes, and witnesses even remembered his Scales of Justice tattoo. The irony is just chef's kiss. Number 10. The thrifty Frenchman who hated return trips. Next, we're going old school with Henri Landru, the Bluebeard of Gombe. Back in France during World War I, this guy was the absolute worst kind of Tinder match. He'd put ads in the paper claiming to be a lonely, rich widower looking for love. He'd charm women who had money, convince them to sell all their stuff and move into his country villa and, well, they never moved out. He's believed to have killed at least 11 people. He was meticulous, charming, and a total monster. His mistake? He was cheap. When police finally got suspicious and checked his records, they noticed a very weird pattern. When he traveled to his country house with his new fiancée, he would always buy 2 train tickets, 1 round-trip ticket for himself and 1 one-way ticket for her. Every single time. It's like being a killer and a stingy budget travel agent. When cops searched his house, they found bone fragments and teeth in his stove. Guess he really didn't plan on them needing that return trip. Number 9. The guy who forgot Matches 101. Let's talk about Robert Berdella, a guy in Kansas City who between 1984 and 1987 kidnapped, tortured, and killed at least 6 men. This guy was the definition of arrogant evil. He kept a horrifyingly detailed log of his crimes, complete with photos, like he was trying to win an award for most psychopathic journal. He thought he was untouchable, but his whole house of cards came down because of his last victim, Christopher Bryson, and a truly baffling oversight. Berdella had Bryson tied up, a captive in his house. But in a move that absolutely blows my mind, Berdella somehow left matches within Bryson's reach. Matches. Bryson, in a move of pure desperation and quick thinking, managed to grab them and burn through his ropes. He waited for Berdella to leave the house, then just ran out the front door and flagged down a police car. When the cops searched the house, they found the gruesome notes, the photos, and even a human skull. All because Berdella failed. Kidnapping 101, don't give your captive fire. Number 8. The world's worst HR manager. This one's a little different. The mistake wasn't made by the killer. It was in hiring his accomplice. Meet Dean Corll, the Candyman from Houston. Between 1970 and 1973, Corll killed at least 29 teenage boys. It was a horrifying spree, and he couldn't have done it alone. He had 2 teenage helpers, David Brooks and Elmer Wayne Henley, who would lure other boys to his house. On August 8th, 1973, it all went wrong. Henri showed up with not just a male friend, but a female friend, Rhonda Williams. This was apparently not part of the plan. Corll flipped out, tied all three of them up, and threatened to kill them. But Henri, seeing his own life on the line, did what he did best. He talked. He managed to sweet-talk Corll into untying him. The second he was free, Henri grabbed Corll's gun and shot him dead. He then called the police and confessed to everything, leading them to the bodies. Corll's big mistake? Underestimating the one person who knew exactly how dangerous he was. Talk about a hostile work environment. Number 7. The man defeated by a post-it note. Over to Moscow, Russia, where Alexander Pichushkin, the chessboard killer, was on a mission. He wanted to kill 64 people, one for each square on the chessboard. By 2006, he was well on his way, with at least 49 victims. He was arrogant, careful, and thought he was smarter than everyone. His big mistake? He got cocky and killed someone he knew, his co-worker, Marina Moskalova. In June 2006, he lured her out for a walk. But Marina was smart. She was seemingly suspicious of this guy. Before she left to meet him, she wrote a simple note for her son and left it on the table. What did it say? It had Pichushkin's name and his phone number. It was the 21st century equivalent of, if I'm not back, this dude did it. When she didn't come home, her son found the note, gave it to the police, and game over. The guy trying to be a grandmaster strategist was checkmated by a single piece of paper. Number 6. The one who got a performance review. Bobby Joe Long terrorized the Tampa Bay area in 1984, killing at least 10 women. He was on an absolute tear until he made the single biggest mistake of his life. He let one of his victims go. He abducted 17-year-old Lisa McVeigh and held her captive for 26 hours. For reasons known only to him, he then decided to just release her. He probably thought she was too scared or traumatized to do anything. He was so wrong. Lisa McVeigh wasn't just a survivor, she was a detective. For those 26 hours, she was actively building a case. She purposefully left her fingerprints all over his bathroom. She counted the steps from his apartment to his car. She memorized the details of his vehicle, the route he took, and the layout of his home. The second she was free, she went to the police and gave them a full, detailed report. It was so accurate, they found Long almost immediately. He basically kidnapped his own star witness, and she gave the cops a 5-star review of exactly how to arrest him. Number 5. Now for a truly chilling one. Charles Cullen was a nurse in New Jersey and Pennsylvania who, for 15 years, was killing patients. He'd give them deadly overdoses of medication, like digoxin. He's admitted to killing up to 40 people, and he just kept getting hired. Hospitals would suspect him, but instead of calling the cops, they'd often just fire him, and he'd go get a job at the next hospital. He was a ghost. His big mistake was thinking that invisible meant untraceable in the digital age. In 2003, officials at one hospital finally noticed a super weird pattern. Cullen was using the hospital's computer system to look up patients who weren't assigned to him. Then, he'd order medications for them that they didn't need. He was basically creating a digital paper trail of his shopping list for murder. It's like shoplifting on your personal Amazon account and having it shipped to your house. The hospital finally called the police, and when they confronted him, he folded instantly. The computer logs never lie. Number 4. The splash heard round Atlanta. Kicking us off is Wayne Williams, the guy linked to the Atlanta child murders in the early 80s. Between 79 and 81, at least 28 black men and children were killed, and the city was in a full-blown panic. Police were watching bridges, a known dumping ground, desperate for a break. And then they got one, courtesy of the universe's most obvious sound effect. On May 22nd, 1981, officers staked out on a bridge over the Chattahoochee River heard a loud sploosh. The very first car to cross the bridge right after, Wayne Williams. He told the cops a fake story about dumping trash, which is, super believable at 2:40 a.m. But the real kicker? 2 days later, a body pops up in the river. The main evidence that nailed him wasn't just the splash, it was the fibers. Rare carpet fibers found on the victims perfectly matched the, let's call it, unique shag carpet in his home and car. It was like a very specific, ugly, rolling crime scene that left its signature everywhere. Sometimes all it takes is bad interior design and a really loud splash. Number 3. The MapQuest murderer. Let's go to St. Louis around 2002. Mory Travis was targeting sex workers, murdering at least 12 women and keeping a horrific torture room in his basement. He was, by all accounts, a monster, and also a complete idiot when it came to technology. Travis got the brilliant idea to taunt the press. He sent an anonymous letter and a map to a local newspaper pointing to the location of one of his victims. He thought he was being clever, like the Zodiac. But what did he use to make this map? He went on Expedia.com, yes, the travel website. He printed a map and sent it. The newspaper, working with the cops, just called Expedia. They asked, "Hey, can you tell us who accessed this specific map section around this specific time?" And Expedia said, "Sure. Here are the IP addresses." One of those IPs led directly to Mory Travis's home computer. He literally CC'd the cops on his murder plans. To make it worse, he later slipped up during questioning, referring to the murdered girls before the police had even told him they were dead. A+ job all around. Number 2. The killer who was mad someone stole his credit. The only thing worse than a serial killer is a serial killer with a fragile ego. Meet Keith Hunter Jesperson, the happy face killer. He was a truck driver who killed at least 8 women across the US in the early 90s. He was getting away with it too, until someone else confessed to his first murder. A woman and her boyfriend falsely confessed, and this made Jesperson furious. How dare someone else take credit for his work? His narcissism went into overdrive. He needed the world to know he was the real killer. So he started writing letters to newspapers and police, signing them with a little smiley face. He literally wrote, "I'm the one who did it, not them." He even scribbled a full confession on a truck stop bathroom wall because, of course he did. His desperate, screaming need for attention is what finally put him on the map and led to his capture. He wasn't caught by a mistake. He was caught because he was offended he wasn't famous enough. Number 1, Dear Police, Can You See Me Now? And here it is, the number 1 undisputed heavyweight champion of serial killer stupidity, Dennis Rader, the BTK killer. This guy was the definition of a boogeyman. Between 1974 and 1991, he killed 10 people in Wichita, Kansas. Bind, torture, kill. He was a family man, a church council president, and then he just stopped. He went dark for over a decade, but like our pal Happy Face, his ego couldn't handle the silence. In 2004, he started sending letters again, and then he had the single dumbest idea in the history of crime. He sent a letter to the police asking them for technical advice. He wanted to know if they could trace a floppy disk. The police, in a move of beautiful reverse psychology, allegedly ran an ad in the paper saying, "No, of course not. Floppy disks are totally safe, wink wink." So BTK sent them a floppy disk. He sent a disk to a local TV station. Forensic experts took one look, found a deleted Word document, and checked the metadata. It contained the words Christ Lutheran Church and the name Dennis. It took police about 30 seconds to connect Dennis and Christ Lutheran Church to Dennis Rader, the church council president. It's the equivalent of asking a bank teller, "Hey, if I gave you a robbery note, would the silent alarm go off?" And then being shocked when it does. He literally asked the cops how to get caught, and they obliged. And there you have it, 12 people who thought they were criminal masterminds, all taken down by parking tickets, floppy disks, and just plain high-octane arrogance. It just goes to show, sometimes the biggest threat to a supervillain is their own brain. If your mind is completely blown by this level of criminal incompetence, do us a favor and hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into the weird, wild, and just plain dumb side of history. Stay safe out there.